Fine, no.
Okay. Welcome back to the From the Fabricator podcast. I'm your host, Max Pearlstein. Thank you so much for joining me once again. And again, as I say, I think every episode, I'm just so excited to share what I have with everybody. I have two great people coming up in a moment. And again, they deliver in so many ways. So that is very cool. Before I get to that, huge thank you to my friends from FHC. The Glass Magazine Awards are out, and only one company has won multiple product categories. FHC has won two 2026 Glass Magazine Awards. The FHC Hydraulic Series Shower Hinge was named Best Innovation for Installers, while the Aspire HD Thermal Entrance System earned Best Hardware Product or System. At FHC, innovation isn't about making something new just to sell it. It's about solving real problems, helping glazers work smarter, and improving performance of glass in the built environment. Two awards, one mission, moving the glass and glazing industry forward. See both of these award-winning innovations at booth 3135 at Glass Build America. Learn more at fhc-usa.com. And speaking of Glass Build America, registration's open. Do it up now. Join us in Las Vegas. Use the code LV26 and you'll get free entry to the show floor. So that'll be great. Okay, we start off with Kristina Buckett from Dallas Flat Glass and XL Glass Systems. She is just an awesome person. She just, just awesome. I really enjoyed talking to her, and she does so much good, and she's on a rocket ship. Then really kind of a fascinating time with Joe Silva. He is of SmartLift, but he also wrote a book, a very heavy, deep, impressive book, a moving book for sure, about the passing of his wife and how how he recovered and how he's dealing with it. And again, it's called 19 Days of Grace. We'll talk about that. So this is really, really interesting stuff. Both people are fantastic and a lot to be learned on a lot of different areas. And so thank you so much for checking this out. We'll get it started right now with Kristina and then to Joe, and then I'll see you on the other side. Okay. I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled to have Kristina Buckett with me, Business Development and Sales Executive at Dallas Flat Glass and XL Glass Systems. You can find them online at DallasFlatGlass, all one word.com, DallasFlatGlass.com. And Kristina, thank you. I am thrilled I get to talk to you. I said it already 3 times. Thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm a fan, and I think that you are continuing to make fans all over this industry, so I know I'm not alone. So good on you. And for those who don't know you, and it's funny, I know you just a little bit, but when I ask you about your origin story in your past, I guarantee you I'm not going to have any idea, so I'm really excited to hear about it. Talk about your past, where you're born, grew up, your path to today.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, how much time do we have?
All the time you want. All the time you want.
Okay, good. Well, it started in 1988. I was born in Arlington, Texas, and grew up there. We moved to Coppell when I was in 6th grade, which was actually the year 2000, coincidentally the same year that my dad started Dallas Flat Glass with Tom Holman.
Gotcha.
But I was just in 6th grade, so I didn't know anything about that. Went through and graduated Coppell High School, and right after high school, I got straight into the family business.
Nice.
And started in the filing room, as all good kids do. However, unfortunately, it was short-lived for me.
Okay.
Having a job at 18 really got in the way of my 18-year-old priorities.
Right.
And so, being punctual at 18 was not high on my priority list. But so ultimately, it resulted in me being terminated by my father.
Wow. Okay.
So
that was fun. It must have been a fun dinner that night.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had a lot of really big feelings at that time, but ultimately ended up being probably the best thing that he could have done for me. Sure. And so fast forward, I ended up finding myself in the trade show industry of all places. Wow, and worked for a general contractor called George Fern Company. And I was a drafter. I did floor plans for all of their trade shows and booth layouts and all of that. And then we had our housing crash in 2008, 2009.
Right.
Well, the biggest shows that we did were the home and garden shows.
Okay. Yep.
So those went away. Our company ended up getting dissolved completely and bought out by another larger company. And so I found myself looking for work, and I was looking everywhere except for glass. I wasn't trying to go back. But in the same year, in 2011, Dallas Flat Glass had purchased the building that they're in now.
Okay.
And it was 100,000 square feet, and they needed a new floor plan for all of the new machinery and stuff that was going in, and I needed a job. So
Wow.
I
Okay.
came in kind of as a contractor. It was only supposed to be temporary, but 16 years later, I'm still here.
Awesome. So through the back door, back into the
Yeah.
business. That's fantastic. I mean, that is a neat path, and obviously, at 18, we're all so young. Our brains aren't developed.
Yeah.
I mean, and anybody who
Thanks for
tells
making me
you,
feel better.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Kevin Roth, who I had on last podcast, he's one of those rare exceptions. He dropped out of school at 15 and started a business. That's
Oh,
a
wow.
one in a
That's awesome.
trillion sort of thing. It's more like you
Yeah.
and I, where it's no way that at 18 we can jump into it. But you figured it out, and now you're crushing it. So this is very cool. So
Yeah.
congrats. So talk about now Dallas Flat Glass and XL Glass Systems, because I guess they're both together. And so give me an idea, give the audience an idea what you manufacture, fabricate, what's going on at both companies.
Yeah. So at Dallas Flat Glass, again, we started in 2000. So that's our predominantly residential, really light commercial. We're doing just every type of insulated unit you can think of, tempered IGs, patterns, textures, shapes, dog door cutouts, all sorts of things. Full service fabrication, your bevel, polish, shapes,
Cool.
hand cutting. We have three MAPI furnaces. We're doing a lot of tempered glass.
Great.
And then in 2012, we started Excel, which is kind of our commercial division for the interior side. So all
Okay.
of your interior finish out, Herculite doors, handrails, things like that. We're getting into more metal fabrication now. So
Great.
your custom brake metal, brake shapes, things of that nature. Doing a lot of those decorative panel inserts for handrails. And that's also where we have our custom laminated side. So we're doing a lot of impact rated IGs now,
Super.
impact glass, Century, PVB, all sorts of things out there.
Super. Yeah, obviously, that's a product area, the laminated, that's growing quite a bit. And
Yeah.
I love the fact how diverse you are. Was that, was the addition of XL Glass Systems kind of like always in the plan, or was like, hey, we need to diversify?
I think it kind of came to us. There were a lot of transitions going on during that time, and product diversity is definitely something that's always been on the forefront of our mind, and wanting to be that resource for the industry, for our clients and everyone here to just kind of have one good location to kind of go and pick up everything.
Perfect. Perfect. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. I got Kristina Buckett with me, business development and sales executive at Dallas Flat Glass and XL Glass Systems. What is the hot product though? I just mentioned laminated is hot. At least I see it. But
Mhm.
every region is different in our world. But what's hot for you guys? What's blowing off your shelves these days?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Tempered IGs, without a doubt. Just tons of tempered IGs, residential, commercial. We service a lot of the ornamental iron door people. So
Gotcha.
there's tons of different textures and shapes that we're seeing, Flemish, reeded, just tons of tempered IGs. And of course, it's hard to keep Century in stock now. There's so many custom Century PVBs and laminated options. Those
Right.
are, yeah, super, super hot for sure.
Yeah, and it helps that the Dallas metro area, you have all these housing complexes and nice
Mhm.
areas, so that plays right into you. And you have with being in business for as long as you have since 2000, you've built up a lot of goodwill, I assume, in the
Yeah.
marketplace.
Yeah. Thankfully, God's been good to us. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, good things happen to good people. That's what I always say. So
yeah.
I see that happening there. Anything else that has you excited about the future? It could be products, it could be your business, it could be anything. What's you're looking at and you're like, I cannot wait to see how this all goes for us.
Oh man. I was asking my dad the same question and just trying to get his ideas too, because when I think about that in the future, it's so broad and there's so many
Yeah,
things. And for us, I think it's AI and robots. I mean, I
yeah,
think they're super cool. It would be really neat to see how they evolve and be able to adapt to more customization on the fly.
yeah,
I think that's probably one of the biggest questions that we get is we don't have an automated IG line, and everything that we're doing is manual.
yeah.
And the amount of time it would take to change all the settings, in an automated line, we could have made a whole run,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So I think it'll be really cool to see how all of that develops, especially with AI and optimizing and stuff like that. I feel like there's some really cool things coming down the pipeline.
Awesome, awesome. And you know that now that you've put it out there that you don't have an automated IG line, that when you come to glass build, that they're going to attack you. All of those people, all those machinery, they're all going to be grabbing onto
Oh
you and
no.
saying, "Hey, let's show you
Yeah.
our line." So be
Hey,
prepared
you
for
know
that.
what? If they can solve our problems, great. We're open to it. We're
All
open
right,
to
be
it.
prepared for that. That's for
Yeah.
sure. That's for sure. I love it. You're rolling here. I got Kristina Buckett with me, business development, sales executive, Dallas Flat Glass and Excel Glass Systems. DallasFlatGlass.com is where you can see everything that we're talking about. So I always break up the podcast about halfway through with a fun question. And for you, and it's interesting, we talked a little bit about this right before we started recording, so you had me really, really interested on this. All-time favorite movie for Kristina Buckett. What is the go-to for you?
Yeah, so I have three actually, and it's been my same answer for the last probably 12 years or so. The number one is Ever After, the best rendition and the best Cinderella story.
Yes.
Transformers, any of the original three with Shia LaBeouf. Okay, I'm very specific. And probably the last one is the Hulk, but also the 2008 version with Edward Norton.
Okay.
Best one, hands down. There's a new one, Project Hail Mary is
Right.
definitely creeping up there on the list for me. It's one of those like we passed by, like, what do you want to watch? Yeah, let's watch it. It's been really good.
And my daughter and I just watched Project Hail Mary, and
Oh, so
that
good.
was a that it's unlike anything out there. And I
Yeah.
honestly did not. I thought it was going to be like Armageddon, like they're
Hmm.
saving the world. I did not expect it because I didn't read anything on it. I just knew it was really popular. So
Yep.
good
Same.
taste.
You watch movies the way I do. Someone want to see that? Yep, I want to see it. I don't know what it's about. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually, my son and I just went to Spider-Man last night, the new Spider-Man,
Oh,
and it
I
was
can't wait to see that.
it's fantastic, really well
Oh,
done.
yes.
So yeah, you got good taste. Ever After though
Yeah.
is and now is that Drew Barrymore? That's Drew Barrymore.
Yep.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I love it. Yeah,
Drew Barrymore.
you got good taste. You got good taste. Well, Drew Barrymore's a successful woman. You're a successful woman, and so it leads perfectly into my next question: women
All
in
right.
glass. How about that? That was the best segue I've had in 200 episodes. Uh, Talk to me a little bit about women in glass. The movement is growing. When I saw you last in Texas, you had started a new chapter, a new organization, or gathered a lot of people together. How's it all going? How do we keep the momentum up? Where are you feeling right now on the women in glass?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love it. So, in Houston at the TGA conference that we went to, it was really nice just to see how much interest there really is. I mean, there's so much visibility that comes when you just get us all in the room together, right? And it's funny you asked because I was kind of hesitant to join this movement at first,
Okay.
thinking it's kind of this like empowering or, something like that, which of course it is, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah,
And I feel like it's more of an expansion of personal growth for the women in our industry, just another avenue for us to be able to connect. And as far as the momentum goes, I feel like it'll come naturally when we start having these events. And I love seeing what Cindy is doing in California, and the last event that they just had, like, just looks amazing. And so I can't wait for sure to get to that level and, even be able to combine one day and do like a full-blown
yeah,
retreat or, something like that would be really awesome. But I think the momentum will come naturally once just bringing more visibility to some of the ladies that might feel like they're the only ones in their role, but
right.
then coming together and seeing like they're a part of something so much bigger.
For sure, for sure. And I love this. I'm loving the progression. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge fan. And I go back to my early days where, Julie Schimmelpenny from at that point, Solutia was usually
Mhm.
the only woman in the room. And then watching it progress and more, and then watching it get past that hump of it's a photo op.
Yeah.
I hated the fact that it was like, okay, everybody grab all the women, we'll take a picture, and then nothing happened. There was
Right.
no, it was a photo op. It was like, hey, look at
Yeah.
us, we've got, and now you all have taken it to that next step, and I like how it is becoming a community. There is the networking, so yeah, keep it
Mhm.
going, and you got some great people there in Texas to help push that there. So I give you a lot of credit. You got to be pretty pumped about it all.
Oh, for sure, for sure. We had our pre-planning kind of happy hour last week, and it was super great just to get everyone together and again talk about our dreams and where we see this going. And so it's really exciting.
Perfect, perfect. Well, good. Keep that going. Now, you also are heavily involved in the TGA and NTGA, which I think that's how I initially met you, I believe, is at one of the
Yeah.
NTGA events. Uh,
Hmm.
and again, I'm a fan. I always talk about I believe in these groups, and you all in Texas have the best ones. I mean, it's just incredible. What are the things that you've taken away, though? I mean, and what are the things that you're proud of, and that you because you're so involved that you've picked up along the way from being involved in the Texas Glass Association and Texas Glass Association North.
Yeah. Gosh, the biggest thing is probably the relationships. I have found some of my best friends and mentors through these organizations and just being in the room, being with these events. And I think that's, the membership gives people access to great tangibles like training online, myglassclass.com, things like that. And all of those things are really, really great and really valuable. But I think these organizations really put emphasis on the people. And it's one of those things that you don't know. Relationships to me are kind of like guardrails. You
Hmm.
don't know you need them until you're in the ditch. And
Right.
you're like, oh, there should have been a guardrail here. There's so many times where I've, met someone and like, oh, you're going through that. I'm like, hey, let me know where you found that. Like, I'm also looking for that. And, you don't know you need that until all of a sudden you need that. And it's been such a blessing to have so many people just in my corner and, helping mentor and guide me. And it's been really, really great. So I would definitely say the people for sure.
People for sure, and I've never heard, at least my brain these days is pretty mushy, but relationships are like guardrails. I think that's you don't know you need it until you fall in the ditch. I think
Yeah.
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So kudos to you, and it's true, and I love the people. I mean, to me, the networking is everything. I call myself a serial networker, and so I love that, and I love that that's what happens in Texas, and I love the learning and the fact that there's resources that come from it. So keep
Yeah.
keep up the good work with TGA and NTGA, and hopefully I get invited back again to speak, and I don't put you all to sleep. So that's the goal.
You were always invited.
No,
Standing invitation.
thank you. Thank you. Well, I've got Kristina Buckett with me, business development and sales executive, Dallas Flat Glass and XL Glass Systems. See them online, dallasflatglass.com. That's all one word. Dallas Flat Glass is all one word.com. A couple more questions for you. This is kind of a good and a bad. So if you had that power to change something in our industry, what would you do? What is the bad thing that you would change? And then what is the good thing you want to see just grow?
Oh man. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
little out there. So
yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, if I had that magic wand and I could just like zap everything into place, I think the number one thing would be licensing and just making it a requirement.
yes,
There's
yes,
really, really great programs out there like the AGMT and ACC certifications, things like that. And those are all fantastic. If only they were required and the
right,
people that are going through and putting in the work to actually attain those certifications, could see like, okay, you know, a more tangible, I guess, position holding that certification, uh, by making it required, I think would be great, especially from a fabricator standpoint.
yeah,
If they had to pass a written test of some sort, to know what they're ordering and how to order it and things like that. Yeah, I think licensing would be a really good thing. And honestly, it'd probably solve a lot of problems that we're seeing today, like
yeah,
creating more healthy competition and allowing people to compete based on performance and relationships as
yep,
opposed to who has the lowest overhead cost.
right, right.
Um, I think licensing would go a long way for sure.
No, that's a great one. I'm a big fan of AGMT and NACC, and I agree with you. I think that's a movement that has to grow. So get that magic wand out and take it
Yeah,
out there. And then anything good that you see that you want to just keep going in our world.
yeah. I've been here for 16 years, which I know is longer than a lot, or not as long as some people, but one thing that I've seen us do really well is just adapting, just taking everything that's coming
Yeah,
down, whether it's energy codes or new buildings, new products. There's so many new things, and I feel like our industry does a really good job at adapting to just the ever-changing demands. And the past few years have been so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Just reevaluating, okay, this didn't work, change again, okay, change again, those things. I think we've done a really good job at that.
Yeah, you're rolling with the punches because the uncertainty
Yeah.
is absolutely nutty. So yeah, that's a good one. All right, so you nailed on both of those. And now that you're talking about kind of the craziness of our world, the economy, and there's this joke that I talk about with there's the Texas economy and then there's the other 49 states economy, just because at
Mhm.
least in our industry. But how are you feeling about the rest of 2026, 2027? Are you bullish? Are you scared? Are you just kind of like, let's roll with it? What are you feeling about the economy right now for the rest of this year and into next?
Yeah, I usually leave this question to the professionals. Uh, for me personally, gosh, I feel good.
Good.
I'm always hopeful. The retrofit market is really, really strong. I don't see that going anywhere anytime soon. So, for us, we're hopeful. It looks really good.
Good, good, good. I like that. I'm a big hope guy, and try to stay positive. And there are some days that it's hard to stay positive
Yeah,
when you're just getting your brain beat in with bad news. But
sure.
I like your approach, and I like and there you find the good spots. You find the good
Yeah.
spots. I love it. Well, last question for you. I miss you at GFAB, and I know you were there and had a good time. Will I see you though at Glassbuild? Will you be making the trip to Vegas?
Yes, yes. As long as you will be there this time, I will be there.
I will be there. I will be there.
Yes.
If I miss Glassville, there's definitely a problem. So
Right, right.
I
Yeah,
would crawl to Vegas if I have to. So
yeah.
I don't miss Glassbuild, but I love it. Good. I'm looking forward to seeing you. And then again, I have to stress again, I really appreciate what you do from an industry standpoint. That's where again, you've been in it 16 years and you noted that a lot of people have been in it longer, but there are a lot of people who have been in it longer who's never attended a TGA meeting or never, been to a
Yeah.
glass build. And you've dove in with both feet. And
Yeah.
I respect that. I appreciate that. So that's something that
Well,
really
thank you.
is impressive about you. And kudos to you and the company for being involved the way you guys are. So from me as an industry guy, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I've had Kristina Buckett with me, business development and sales executive, Dallas Flat Glass. I'll get it out right one of these times. Excel Glass Systems, Dallas Flat Glass, all one word. .com. See them online. You'll be able to see Christina and the gang at Glass Build, and if you're in Texas, see them at the various events. And Women in Glass, day 3 at
Yeah.
Glass Build will be going on. So thank you so much for doing the podcast. I look forward to seeing you and continued good fortune, my friend. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. It was so good to see you. Thanks, Max.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey Glazers and Fabricators, FHC, the frameless hardware company, is here to support your business. In addition to offering a complete selection of glazing tools and supplies to get the job done right, we design, engineer, and manufacture a comprehensive offering of frameless shower door systems, heavy glass doors, aluminum entrances and storefronts, architectural railings, transaction and display hardware, privately owned and American made. FHC prioritizes you, the customer. You now have a choice. Visit fhc-usa.com.
Okay, now I am honored and excited to be joined by Joe Silva. He is the Northeast Sales Manager for SmartLift, and more importantly, he is an author of the book 19 Days of Grace, speaker on grief, faith, and resilience, encouraging others through loss and hope. We're going to talk about that. I read the book. It's incredible. Available on Amazon right now. And obviously, I was meant to say on SmartLift, smartlift.com-en-us. So, Joe, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
Max, hey, I appreciate this so much. And, you're somebody who means a lot to me, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit more. But thank you so much for having me on. It's such a blessing and a pleasure and an honor to be on your podcast.
Well, honor is all mine because you're an incredible man, and I look forward to digging into this. And we'll start with really the Joe Silva origin story. So since I read the book, I know the origin story. It's kind of funny. I asked this question to all my guests. And you're the first guest that I absolutely know everything about because I read the book from the early days to Liberty University to the fitness side of things to New York City to going to New Jersey. I don't know what I may be missing, but get at least give the Reader's Digest version of Joe Silva from birth to SmartLift.
Well, first of all, I do watch your podcast, so I just want to let you know that. So
Thank you.
I always enjoy it because, one of the things I try to be a student of whatever I'm involved with, and I try to learn. And I've always watched and read and listened to people. So that's why, listening in and watching your guest and talk about the industry, it's really a great thing. And I really appreciate that you do it. So
Thank you.
But as far as, yeah, absolutely. Joe Silva, well, I was born in October 18th, 1967 in Paterson, New Jersey. And that's about 12 miles west of New York City.
Gotcha.
So I grew up in the New York metropolitan area, grew up in a great neighborhood, more of an urban setting. I lived in Clifton, which is the town over from Paterson. So born in Paterson, raised in Clifton, and spent a lot of time, as a young kid, doing all the street things that street kids do, stickball, playing until the street lights come on, and then your parents yell, and you come back in the house, and then you try to sneak out again for a little bit more. But growing up in that environment, I tell you, it really helped me learn how to interact with a lot of different personalities, and you learn a lot of different things. And then, of course, taking advantage of living so close to New York City, we were always going to Yankee games, and even early on before the Giants, because I'm Yankees, Giants, Knicks. Ooh. And as far as hockey is concerned, I'm a Rangers fan, because the New Jersey Devils didn't come along until about when I was 15 years old.
Right.
So you were either a Rangers fan or an Islanders fan.
Right.
So not that I was big into hockey, but we played a little street hockey and things like that. But took advantage of living so close to New York, going to all the different sporting events. And even early on, the Giants, at one point before they built MetLife or Giant Stadium, they used to play in Yankee Stadium. Right. So, we'd spend a lot of time in the city. And even as a kid, I'd sometimes hop on the train and take, the train over into the city. So got a very good upbringing growing up in this environment, and great family. Yeah. My mom and dad, and I have a sister, Joanne, and a brother, John. It was the three of us. And we had a great upbringing. So it was really a really good life that we had growing up.
No doubt. I picked up on that. And you also had a nice little athletic career going as well. So you're a football player, which I saw. Yeah. And then obviously, because you were in such good shape, that led you to helping others with their health, which I find interesting, because you're helping people today, both business wise and on a personal level, spiritually. So you've always been helping people in one way or another. So it kind of tracks there.
Yeah. Well, it's something, again, with my upbringing, my parents, in my neighborhood, we were always the house that everybody kind of gathered around, and we always come and congregate at our house. And my parents were always opening the house to everybody. So friends felt very safe to come to our home. And, so I learned about hospitality and about serving and loving and giving back to people through, my parents. And then, my faith, going to church and learning all about that, and being someone who wants to give back and have a servant's heart. So, it was just playing street games, but then also playing, little league baseball and football and things like that. And then eventually playing high school football. Now I was actually a better baseball player than I was a football player. But about my 8th or 9th grade year, I started noticing that I couldn't see the ball that good anymore. And I found out I needed contacts. And even after getting the contacts, I was finding it harder and harder to see the ball and judge the ball. So I remember my 10th grade year, I decided I'm going to focus in on just football. I got to start getting bigger. I have to start working harder on that. And that's what I focused in on was football. And my senior year, I did well enough that I had a couple of scholarship offers around the country. Right. So there was an opportunity to go to a school out in Colorado. And I remember, like, the 11th hour saying to my parents, I said, I don't know if I want to go way out to Colorado. It's so far away. I wonder if there's anything a little bit closer that I might be able to get, scholarship offered to.
Right.
So I remember going to my high school football coach. I said, Coach, I know sounds crazy, but is there any other opportunities that are a little bit closer to home? Now, yeah, you can walk on and things like that, but he goes, as far as like scholarship offers, I'm not really sure. And that's how he was able to get connected with Liberty at the time. He had a connection with the coach, and that's how I got myself to Liberty.
Love it.
University down in Lynchburg. Yeah.
Exactly. And you talked about getting big. The pictures in your book, you're big. You were beefed up there. So whatever you were doing
Yeah,
it
I
right.
mean, at one time, at that point, I got up to like 220 pounds and, just lifting and doing a lot of time at the gym. I remember one year, I think I only missed like 2 workout sessions in the entire 365-day year. And I was so dedicated to it. And I was like, all right, I gotta, I was a good athlete, but I wasn't like the top athlete. I knew I had to work that much more to be the best that I can possibly be. So that's kind of what I did. And, but, with everything, you always have challenges and setbacks, even when you accomplish things, you still have some challenges. So
Sure, for sure. And I guess we'll move to the current challenge. You were at SmartLift. You can see what Joe has online at smartlift.com/en-us. SmartLift is a game changer out there, but it is also a little bit of a challenge, like you had mentioned. But let's start with SmartLift has a product. Tell everybody, if they're unaware of what SmartLift is and what they provide and what they manufacture and put out to the market, give everybody kind of a heads up on what you're talking about there.
Yeah, well, first of all, I knew nothing about this industry. I have an exercise physiology background. I was in the medical sales industry for 25 years.
Right.
And, some changes occurred back in 2017. And I was trying to reinvent myself at the age of 50 at that point, start my consulting business, got my real estate license. And I remember a friend of mine, Eric Maynard, who now works for Complete Equipment.
Yeah.
He at that time was working for SmartLift, and he had approached me and told me about the whole industry. And when he first said, glazing, I had no idea what he meant. I thought he talked about like glazing a donut. I mean, what glazing, what does that mean? Yeah. Glazing and glass. So that's how I got introduced to that world. And then, we can talk a little bit later on about you and I, how we met. But eventually I got introduced to Fleming Nielsen, who at that time was the person overseeing the United States. He came from Denmark because that's where SmartLift is based. We're based in Denmark. And they got established back in 2008. And they came to the United States in 2016, but they developed a sales team in 2021. And I got introduced to that world through Eric. And then he introduced me to Fleming, and then Fleming had reached out to me, and I got the position in 2022, and that was the first year that SmartLift was officially, underway in the U.S. with the sales team. And of course, I want to know what it is that I'm selling. Does it make sense? I can sell things, but I want to make sure that I understand what it is. So they're vacuum lifters. It's something that's used to engage with material, mostly glass, but we also do stone and metal and other materials, and it works on a vacuum system. So you're engaging, in this case, with the glass, and you're lifting that material to help install the glass. And it makes sense to me, because it's like, well, I see all these guys out there holding, 5 or 6 guys lifting this heavy material, in this case, glass. And it's like, there has to be something that's better than that. So when he first introduced it to me, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I can sell this. I can get behind this, because it's something that, a vacuum lifter that's engaging with this material. You don't have to have as many guys. Not that you're looking to get rid of guys, but you're trying to improve the quality of their life, right? You're trying to give them the ability to get the job done with less injuries. It's cost effective. And it's like, I can get behind this. So SmartLift, to me, it's an easy sell when you talk to people about it, but you have to get them to understand, the benefits of it. So, you talk about the features tell about the product, but the benefits sell. So it's a whole idea of trying to get them to understand the benefits of what this vacuum lifter is doing. And so a lot of times these guys are like, well, we've been doing it this way for a long time. They're set in their ways.
Yes.
And they don't sometimes recognize the benefit. Just like cell phones, right?
Yeah.
Cell phones. I remember in the early 90s, when cell phones came out, and I was a sales guy, and I'm like, well, why do I need a phone for my, I don't need a phone.
Yeah.
Why do I need a phone in my car? I have a phone back at the office. But now we can't live without these phones, right? We need them.
Yeah.
So when it comes to SmartLift, it's a tool that's there to help you achieve the goal, get the job done. It's a solution to whatever it is that you're working on when it comes to installing glass.
Perfect. And you know what? What's amazing is I am completely uncoordinated with any sort of tool outside of a screwdriver and pliers for very basic reasons. And I've handled a SmartLift on a demo, and it's incredibly easy, smooth, and I mean, so when you're talking about your labor force, you want them safe, you want to keep them safe, protect their backs, their knees, their shoulders. Yeah. But also you're bringing in people that may not, understand certain things, but they could work the SmartLift, because it is such a very intuitive sort of product. So I think people sometimes get scared when you talk about anything robotic or anything with anything electric lifting and so on. Is it going to be like you're going to need a calculus degree to run it? No. That's what really impresses me. It's a great piece of equipment that virtually anybody that's an adult can run. If I can run it, anybody can run it. That's the thing there.
No, don't put yourself down. Come on, you're a smart guy. You know what to do. Yeah, and one of the things that I really love doing is teaching.
Yeah.
And doing the orientations and going to the job sites and making sure that they understand how to use it. So I get so much joy going around, and when someone buys one of our SmartLift machines, I then go to that job site or go to the shop or wherever we're going to go, and I do an orientation to make sure they understand how to use it. And, one of the great things about SmartLift as well is that our sales team, we're not like used car salesmen, right, where when you buy that SmartLift, we don't want to hear from you. We follow up. We're there to give you service. We have a service department in our Omaha location. We have Dave Bradley, who's fantastic, and he's always available, to help. And we also have I have a local tech that can come to the job site and help, with any kind of service that needs to be done. So that's another great thing. They're built fantastic, the quality that they make there in Denmark. And our service that we provide here in the US, it's unmatched.
For sure. And we're looking at, if you want to see them, go to smartlift.com/en-us. I'm sure if you go to smartlift.com, you can get the English and the US website for it, but you can see all the machinery. Yes. There's a ton up there because it's not just one size fits all. You have several different models that could meet, a small glass shop's need up to people working on skyscrapers.
Exactly. And we're always trying to come up with, new solutions and new ideas. So like recently we have our 609 HLE RT, which allows for rotation with the remote control, or you can get the model that you can manually rotate at the crossbar. But we have a new XR model, which now allows you to do both. So we're always trying to come up with ways to provide a solution and help the person out in the field, whether it's someone lifting glass. Honestly, Max, I'm selling a lot of these machines now to people in the stone industry as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to doing fireplaces and these heavy islands. So, we're always trying to come up with ways to make it more efficient, cost effective, and most importantly, safer for the guys who are out in the field doing the work.
For sure. And it's funny, our universe is all HGTV these days. And when I see these guys, manually humping in a piece of granite for a table, for a counter or an island, I'm like, you're nuts. There's a piece of equipment for that. They can get you at least, get you there. So, no, you're doing good things, Joe. You're doing things. And before we move on,
you want to prevent
go ahead.
You want to prevent the injuries. I mean, that's it. And we have a mutual friend in the glass industry. And I remember when I first got into this industry, he had told me that his uncle got injured on the job lifting a heavy piece of glass.
Yeah.
He had surgery, and while he was on the table having the surgery, spinal fluid leaked out and it killed him. So this is a way to help prevent some injuries, you know?
Yeah, because you know, again, the other thing is the average age, I think, right now of our glazing community is like something like 58. And to be 58 years old or older and trying to hump a large IG, you know, to get it in the hole is nuts when you have a piece of equipment like this, like SmartLift, that can do it. So I appreciate what
And then
you're doing.
You drop that piece of glass, and sometimes the expense of that glass, that you don't want to break that glass, and then the time to get the new material. So, you know.
So I have to ask you before we move on, to me, it's just a no brainer. You know, if I owned a glass shop glazer and I was in the field, I would have, you know, my, you know, fleet of smart lifts. But you run into objections out there, which is crazy. What are some of them and how do you overcome them? I'm very curious.
Well, just like when I was in the medical sales industry, the biggest competition, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but the biggest competition is ignorance
Right.
on the consumer side. And they're not understanding. They're set in their ways in many cases. And they just figure, well, I'm only going to need it once, maybe twice. So the expense up front, I'm better off renting it. So you're trying again to let them know, yeah, you can rent it. But if you do that 2, 3 times, 4 times a year, you've already bought yourself a SmartLift in some cases.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just a matter of trying to get them to understand they're set in their ways. And maybe on our part as well, we're not doing a good enough job to educate them. And that's why I love going to the job sites, you know, and doing the demos. I love doing demos. And, you know, I try to, you know, do 3 to 5 a week if I'm able to, and just going around and you can see how those guys are like, wow, this makes sense. But then I got to convince the project managers, you know, the superintendents, the owners as well, that this investment up front is going to be worth it for you in the end. The ROI is definitely going to be beneficial.
No doubt. No doubt. So if you want to learn more about SmartLift and Joe, check it out at smartlift.com -en or /en-us, or just go to smartlift.com and go to the USA site there and see everything that you've got. And then you'll be at Glass Build as well, I assume.
Yes. We'll be there in Vegas again this year, right? It's in Vegas. So we'll be there, and we always, leading up to Glass Build, we always provide some discounts and special deals. So definitely follow up with us so you can learn about those special deals that we're going to be offering leading up to Glass Build.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're on LinkedIn, Joe is easy to find. Connect with him there, or hit me up and I'll connect you with Joe so we can go from there. Now, before we get on to the other half of this podcast, I always break up the podcast with a fun question. And since you're an authentic New Yorker, I know you grew up in New Jersey, but you're an authentic New Yorker. It's the ultimate question for me. What is your favorite slice of pizza in New York City? Where do I go? Because I have my favorite. And I'm very curious where my favorite, if you've ever had it, but tell me where your favorites are next time I go to the city.
Well, next time you come to the city, we got to go together. So
I'll take you up on that for sure. Absolutely.
Yes, please. I love taking people around and showing them the city and going out for some great food and especially pizza. But I got to clear up one thing.
Yeah.
As far as a city, yes. Yeah. Brooklyn specifically. Brooklyn is the capital when it comes to the best pizza. If you want to go per capita, whatever, Brooklyn in the 5 boroughs has the best pizza. As far as what state has the best pizza, okay, that's New Jersey, without question. New Jersey from down south up to north. So from Philly up to New York, that stretch, New Jersey has the best pizza as a state.
Really?
Now, New York City, of course, the city, specifically Brooklyn, but you got to remember New York is always up to upstate New York, right? And it's completely different up there.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's some great places in Connecticut, of course.
Yep.
But when it comes to a state, New Jersey as a whole has the best pizza as a state. Now,
never would have known
going
that.
back to, oh yeah, absolutely. Going back to pizza,
Mhm.
and I have great places in Jersey too. I'd love to take you. But going back to pizza in New York, remember, American pizza, New York pizza, started in New York City.
Right.
Started down in Little Italy
Right.
by, Gennaro Lombardi. He opened up the first pizzeria, Lombardi's, and the immigrants that were coming in from Italy, wood was expensive, and it wasn't readily available, so they started using the coal, right?
Right.
Coal oven,
Yep.
pizza, and that's how they would fire up the ovens, and it took a lot less time. And back at that point, pizza was basically like a personal size, just like it was in Italy. In Italy, you had the Neapolitan style pizza fired with wood. Now they come to New York and they're using coal, so a whole new style, and that's how it got established. So Lombardi's was the first. And then a few of the guys who worked for Gennaro Lombardi branched off and opened up different locations. But that original pizza was really a Neapolitan style, New York, if you would, but made with coal, fired with coal. That's how they heated up the oven. And then this is another fun fact with pizza. There were the Bruno brothers. And the Bruno brothers would drive around on their little bikes or horse in some cases, and they would go to the different job sites. And remember, they were the Italian immigrants. They were immigrants, here in the United States. Yeah. They were peasants in many cases in Italy. Now they're peasants here in the United States. They didn't have a lot of money, but they knew pizza. And the Bruno brothers would go around and they would sell a little pie for 5 cents.
Gotcha. Yep.
Now, if the guys couldn't afford it, you know what they would do? Here's how the slice came about. Yeah. They would cut it and they would make a slice, penny a slice.
There you go.
And that's how they would sell. And that's how the slice of pizza came about.
Nice.
So I've been to all of them. When I was growing up, I love it. So I would always take people around. I'd go and visit. Even when I had my young family, my wife and I, we would go into the city and we would go to all the different places. And I'd always go in there and say, hey, I heard you got the best pizza.
Yeah.
Now, they may not have had the best pizza, but I would tell them, hey, I heard you got the best pizza. And they would treat us like we were like royalty. Yeah. And that's how we got them to make the best pizza. And you always want to find the pizzerias that have the pizzaiolo, the guy who makes the pizza, and he's always making the pizza.
Right, that's all he does.
Not like 5 or 6 different guys. Yeah. You want that guy. It's like when you want to go to a doctor, you want to go to the doctor that you want to go to, not somebody else.
Right.
You want that doctor. So find the pizzerias that have the same guy making the pizza. For the longest time, I loved DeFara's in Brooklyn.
Yep.
And he's passed away now, but he made a great pizza. To Tono's on Neptune Avenue in Brooklyn. Then, of course, John's on Bleecker.
That's mine.
Fantastic.
That's mine.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well,
I feel like I'm in good company. Yeah.
John got his start with Gennaro Lombardi.
Did not know that. Wow.
That's where it got started. So he branched out of Lombardi's, just like the Tono's in Brooklyn. He started with Gennaro Lombardi. So John's on Bleecker, fantastic, coal fired. It's coal fired.
Yep.
So you have your coal, you have your wood, and then you have your gas oven. So there's a lot of differences. But Una Pizza Napolitana, he's a Jersey guy in the Village, and he makes the best Neapolitan pizza.
Cool.
And then if you just cross the river into Jersey City, Raza Pizza in Jersey City. So I'm telling Max, when you come, brother, we're gonna go on a pizza tour. We're gonna go around from place to place. We're gonna eat like so many carbs that day. We're gonna be like, I don't know, rolling out the door.
Yeah, that's gonna be something. And it's funny, when I had John's, I'm a pizza guy. I eat pizza all the time, and that was a revelation. Never had pizza like that. That was just unbelievable from start to finish. So dead on. I'm honored. I'm thrilled.
It's fantastic. It's great pizza. But I got to say this. You know who makes the best pizza?
Who?
My son.
Your son, Joey.
My son, Joey. During COVID in 2020. We made a brick oven pizza in our backyard, an oven, and he just just took to it, and all the fresh ingredients, everything is fresh. He makes his own dough, and we would get that fire, that heat up to like 800, 900 degrees, and with that fresh ingredient, that fresh dough and everything.
Yeah.
He makes fantastic pizza. Let me tell you. So
Ku-
I got to give a shout out to my son.
Kudos. Yeah. And you went 3 for 3 with the kids. So that just makes a lot of sense there. So very, very cool. All right. So you want to talk about the book, Joe? It's an unbelievable, as I wrote you, heart-wrenching, just an incredible read. And you're absolutely doing a service by, sharing your thoughts, but are you ready to talk about 19 Days of Grace?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So,
well, just to backtrack for 1 second, and
Yeah.
when I went to Liberty University,
Yeah.
and remember I told my coach, Liberty, he ended up helping me get into Liberty. And I remember my coach saying to me, Joe, no matter what happens at Liberty, whether you play all 4 years or you don't, you're going to meet your wife at school.
And you did.
I was 17 years old. I'm like, all right, coach, that sounds good to me. But that was something that came to be, and that's how I met my wife.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and it was obviously in the book. I highly recommend it. You can find it on Amazon, or you can order it direct from Joe at joeanthonysilva.com is his website. Joe Anthony Silva, all one word. But it is also on Amazon, and so the book is basically it's based on just a amazing, unfortunately amazing from a standpoint of just unbelievable unexpected health emergency of your wife, and what happened then and how you dealt with it. And, it just, it's a riveting read, and I feel for you because I know you, and I anybody who reads it feels like they're on this journey with you. How do you sit down and write this? I mean, I get the writing about the family and growing up, but when you get to the point about, getting that phone call from, and going, how do you sit down and write this? It's so intensely personal.
Yeah. Well, I had met you about a month before everything happened.
Yes.
And, I was doing some work with Glazer Nation,
Mm-hmm.
and I was away on a business trip when this all happened. I spoke to my wife, and that day and that night she suffered the brain aneurysm. And then for the next 19 days, she was on life support, and, prayed and was praying that she would come out of it. But she, God had a different plan at that time, and He brought her home to heaven. And when everything unfolded and time went by a little bit, I said, I want to honor her.
Mm-hmm. Take your time.
Yeah, I want to honor her legacy.
Yeah.
I want to gift my children with our story.
Yep.
Some of the things that they didn't know, about going to school, and they heard about things, but I wanted to be a little bit more specific and detailed in the book about our journey, having a family, and all the ups and downs and challenges. And I wanted to gift them, and then any future grandchildren that the Lord may bless me with. And then I wanted to help people, because again, it goes back to my childhood and my roots of always being a servant, wanting to help people. And I wanted to take this book and use it as a way to encourage people, no matter what they're going through. Maybe not losing a spouse, but maybe losing a parent or losing a job, or just going through difficult times. And it was a challenge in some ways, because I'm not a writer. No. And I'm better sitting down with somebody and just telling a story, like we're doing right now, versus sitting down and writing out a book. In this case, I never thought I'd write a book, but I have it. And so many people who have heard of our story, who've read the book or have heard about the story, many people have been touched and have been blessed by it. So that encourages me. Yeah. That encourages me to keep moving forward, and hopefully it'll keep helping people, and it'll impact them in a positive way.
Yeah, it is, and it will, and it hit me in a lot of different ways. And one of the things that is the faith aspect. Your faith is still so strong, but you run into that mental situation of why. Why is this happening? Why did it happen? I've done everything, okay. But you've shown resilience, and your faith kind of got you there. How do you keep that alive basically through situations like this, and even in the mourning process? How do you keep your faith?
Well, it's all about, just like in life, relationships, right? We know each other. We spent time, over the last several years. I remember when I first went to Glass Build in 2021, just a month after my wife passed.
I saw you, and
Yeah.
my heart was broken for you right there. Yeah.
But the way you engaged with me, man,
Yeah.
the way you engaged with me, it just brought me so much comfort.
Oh.
So, it's relationship, and the most important relationship for me is with Jesus Christ. I'm a follower of Christ, and he has just taken me on this journey. And I didn't want the journey to be this way, but he has a plan. And the lives that are being changed and impacted for the better, it's so encouraging to me. And I've been able to help people through so much because of this, trying to find purpose through my pain.
Right.
And, I love selling SmartLift. I love, when I worked for a company in the medical sales industry, I loved doing that. But when you can help change somebody's life for the better, beyond selling a product, there's just something very special about it. And there's so many people who are hurting out there in this world, Max.
Yeah.
So many people. I mean, just pick up your phone or look at the computer every day. People are dying, killed in car accidents, children being, killed in floods. And we had actually 2 here in New Jersey over the last several days that were swept away in a river. And just so many people are hurting. And we're here to help people. I mean, what you do for God and what you do for people are the most important things.
Yeah, no doubt. And book is 19 Days of Grace by Joe Silva. Again, you can get it on Amazon or on his website, joeanthonysilva.com. And you're an incredible dad. Your kids have turned out wonderfully. I like the fact that they had a piece of the book at the end, and they all put their thoughts down. But what did they think about it when you said, "Hey, gang, I'm going to sit down and write a book about this"? Because you're opening up them too. In that whole piece. What were their reaction? Any objections? Did the girls object? Did Joey object? I mean, how did that all go?
Yeah, there was a little hesitation. One of the things too is I'm walking not only my journey, my grief journey, but I'm walking my children's journey of grief. My mom's still alive. So my dad passed away in 2017. So I've never experienced what they're experiencing now, especially losing her, when they were relatively pretty young. They were adults, but young adults. But yeah, at first, when I first presented the idea, they were like, well, I don't know, what are we going to write? We'd rather kind of keep that personal. And I said, listen, write this as if you're writing it to mom.
Yeah.
And if you want to also add in how you can help some other people through it, so I said, pray about it. And if you're willing to, please do it. And they all did. Mm-hmm. So, when it's even hard for me when I go back and read their letters. It's hard. It's very hard because I know how difficult it is and just what they've been through. And I'm so proud of them because they have been able to help so many people just because people are watching them. Sometimes, without even saying a word, people watch how they live their lives and how they're still praising God and still going to church. And I remember my daughter, Holly, my oldest, we had a friend who, out in California, this young girl, she had lost her boyfriend. It was like in October of 2021. Now we had just lost Marianne in August of 2021, and Holly, while she was still grieving, hopped on a plane and flew out to California to sit by this young girl's side for several days just to be an encouragement. Even though Holly was deeply hurting,
Right.
she was still there to help, in this case, a young girl who had lost her boyfriend. So proud of my children. And two of them now have gone on to get married. Joey's married and Ashley is married.
Yep.
Holly has been in a couple of different relationships, but I tell her all the time, wait for the right guy. The right guy is out there, and you're going to be blessed. And God has a great plan for you.
I tell my daughter the same. And again, I was moved by what they wrote, but I was just curious on how they felt about you doing it. And when you set out to write this book, I know it had to be therapy for you to just get it out. Did you, and I know you say you live to serve others, but did you think while you were writing this from a therapy standpoint that this was going to affect so many people who read it and got so much out of it? People like me, anybody who's suffering through a loss. I mean, it's reaching so many people. Did you think that was going to happen, or it was just, hey, I'm going to do this for therapy, get this off my chest and share the story?
Well, I mean, yeah, you do it for therapy, of course. But again, I'm always thinking about how it can help other people.
Right.
And I just prayed. I said, God, and this is still early on. I mean, it only came out in February of this year. So, and by the way, I'm working on the audio. I'm doing the audio book, which is that's a little challenging because I tell you, it's tough doing the audio version. Yeah, it really is.
It's tough doing an audio version of a regular sort of book. With this one, with this much emotion, you're a better man than I am on that one.
Yeah. Well, the company I'm working with, they said, well, why don't we just hire somebody to do a professional voiceover or whatever? I said, no way. I said, I want to do it. I got to do this myself. I mean, I want people to hear it from me. Yeah. But it's therapy. Like I said, when this is released, your podcast, this podcast that we're doing, I think it's going to be maybe August 9th or something that day. That'll be 1,828 days since Marianne left to go to heaven. Yeah. And, she was an amazing wife, mother. I think about her every day. And I'm praying that this book will bless a lot of people because I know people are hurting out there and they're going through loss. So, it
is helping anybody who's gone through a loss, especially in that sort of magnitude, can benefit from this and your story. And I guess, if there is one big takeaway from somebody who would read the book, what would you want them to take away? Keeping the faith, what is the big takeaway for somebody who wants to read the book that you think that they'll walk away with?
Don't give up. There's hope. A lot of people who are going through difficulties, a lot of times they isolate themselves. Yeah. It's not good to isolate yourself. You got to be, we were made for a relationship, like I mentioned earlier. So no matter what you're going through, whether you lost a job, and I've done that, I lost my parent, my dad, gone through a lot of loss. But the thing that has helped is being around people, get into a good Bible believing church, be around people who can love on you. But I want people to know that, and I talk about that as well, because I'm going to be very transparent. As much as the love and support that I have around me and the family that I have in my faith, there were some dark, dark days, that were very, very difficult. Yeah. So knowing how much love and support I have around me, how difficult it was, I know people out there are going to deal with stuff. And I say, please don't isolate yourself. And that's why I make myself available to anyone who listens to this podcast. And this is the honest truth. Yeah. You let them know how to get a hold of me. I would be more than happy. It would be an honor, a pleasure to speak with somebody. And that's what I love doing. I love helping people. So my message is don't give up, surround yourself with loving people and don't give up on God. God didn't cause this brain aneurysm. He knew it was going to happen. Yeah. But we live in a fallen, diseased world. But he's a loving God, and he wants to be there for you. And he just wants a relationship. And just cry out to God and spend time praying, spend time in his word. Surround yourself with godly people that love you and are going to support you. So don't give up. Keep moving forward.
No, it's great. That's words for sure to move forward with. And again, appreciate the book, 19 Days of Grace. You can get it at Amazon, or you can get it on Joe's site, which is joeanthonysilva.com. My friend, you're a good man. We covered a lot of things on this podcast, from the SmartLift side to pizza to your wife and the book. And, that's kind of what makes you special, because you can do so many things. And, I appreciate my friendship with you, and, you're doing something unbelievable, both professionally and personally. So kudos to you.
Max, thank you so much. And I feel the same way about you, man. You're such a guiding light out there in our industry, and you're just a great person. There's something about you that people are drawn to you. I mean, I'm being honest with you. It's like, again, I'll never forget that time that we got connected right after everything happened, and just the way you were very attentive. You were there, and that's what people know about you. And that's why I just enjoy always seeing you. And it's just such an honor to be part of your podcast, and keep doing great things, because you're a fantastic and amazing person.
Will do, my friend. Will do. Thank you so much. And I will see you in a couple months at Glassbuild.
Sounds great.
Stay well. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much to Joe, unbelievable man, to Kristina, unbelievable woman. Good stuff this time on the From the Fabricator podcast. So again, my appreciation there. My appreciation also to FHC. They're coming off of 2 Glass Magazine Awards, one for their hydraulic shower hinge, and also one for their Aspire HD thermal entrance system. You'll see both of those at Glassbuild, booth 3135. Learn more at fhc-usa.com. I appreciate everything they do for me here at the From the Fabricator podcast. All right, as I do every time out, and I know there's a handful of you who actually may listen to this part. Most listen to the interviews and they move on. I don't blame you. But if you're still with me, 2 shows for you. I Will Find You on Netflix. It's from the Harlan Coben series. I Will Find You. So far, I'm about 5 episodes in, and I like it. It's interesting. It's deep. It's got a lot going on there, and that is on Netflix. And now, just out, the newest season of Lioness on Paramount Plus. Zoe Saldana and the female band of warriors. Really, really good stuff. Lioness on Paramount Plus. So 2 for you to watch. I'll be back in a few weeks with another podcast. Things are rolling along in our world. We got a lot going on. Lots of great guests coming up, and I really appreciate all of you for taking the time to listen and watch this podcast and support everything I do. I am grateful. And we will see you next time.
Oh, the music is stopped.